Hi friends, hey, welcome back to the Expeditionary Johnny channel. Hey, if you're new to my channel is about removing obstacles to getting outdoors. Typically that means like time, ideas, or sometimes equipment, and today's video is all about ideas. So like you, I struggle at times to try to be able to get out and have some type of an adventure. So there are times where I have to really sit down and think about what it is I want to do, or when can I squeeze out a next outing, right? So it's summertime, which means it's barbecue time. So I figured, hey, now's a great time to sit around by the smoker. Let's make up some ribs. Let's just start planning out our next adventures. Now, since barbecue is the theme in this video, what I went ahead is I've already got like some barbecue pulled pork, and then I've got some cornbread stuffing, and I know that's going to make for a nice meal out on the trail. But you know me, I like to round things out and really go over the top. So I've got an idea I want to explore on this video. Okay, I've got the ribs seasoned up, I've got the fire lit up, and so the smoker's about at 225, which is where I want to try to maintain 225, 250 for the next several hours. All right, and so let's get the ribs on there. Now right now, since I like to do hike and cook videos, I'm toying around with the idea of doing like a series for the different seasons. Like, you know, we've got Halloween coming up. It makes me think pumpkin. We got Thanksgiving coming up in November. We've got Christmas and New Year's, the bowl season. So I'm like, hey, what can I do? And while I get out, to go ahead and cook something tasty that goes along with those seasons. So here, let me kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. All right, so like right here, I just made a quick little Word document, and I've been toying around some ideas, some different types of food I want to try cooking up. And then I've got a little table where I've got like a setting, a theme, and food. I'm trying to line it all up. Like I know in August we have a Greek festival, and then we've got Labor Day. Columbus Day is coming in October, like an Oktoberfest. I've got like, I already know I want to do brats and kraut. All right, so with it being summertime, it's definitely time for barbecue, right? Well, now I'm sitting there thinking, how do I take the barbecue out on the trail with me? It's easy when I'm here at the house, I got a smoker, but how do I do that in a backpacking environment? So today's project is going to be dessert. Now, if you go to any of the barbecue joints, you're going to see things like, you know, you got your beef brisket and ribs and stuff, but dessert is normally something like banana pudding. I absolutely love it. Now, again, for a day hike, car camping, just grab the little pudding cups and you're good to go, right? But I want to do something for backpacking. So what I'm thinking of doing is, I've got this here Jello cook and serve pudding. I'm going to try to make a field version of this, okay? Now this box is supposed to serve 4 people, and you need 2 cups of milk, right? So what I'm going to do for today's experiment is, I'm going to make a half a container. So I'm going to do, that'll be 2 servings for me and my wife. Now I just need 1 cup of milk, but wait a minute. Milk on a backpacking? I think I've got an option. What I'm going to do is take some of this here whey protein, and I'm going to make about a cup's worth of whey protein here. This is vanilla flavor, so it's kind of sweet, so I'm a little afraid of it, but we're going to give it a shot here. That's what the fun of experimenting. All right, to divvy this up, I'm going to do this by weight, and I'm going to set my scale to grams. Let's just go ahead and pour our powder in here. So 96 grams, so I'll put 48 grams in each one of these containers, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's move on to the dairy portion of our recipe. All right, so for this serving, it's supposed to be about 1 cup of milk, right? So I need to make about 1 cup of, I don't know, whey protein shake here. All right, so normally it's 1 scoop to about 6 to 8 ounces of water or milk when you make your shake, and it comes out kind of thick. So for today, I'm going to try about a half a scoop, and then about 6 ounces or so of water. I think between the volume of this and the water, that should be close to 1 cup. But besides, I'm also throwing the banana chips, and that should absorb some of it. All right, so I think that's pretty close enough for today's experiment. So I'll go ahead and add this to the container. So you might be asking, how do you measure out 1 cup of liquid when you're out backpacking? You know, you don't have all your measuring cups with you. That's okay. We have equipment to take with us, all right? It just depends on the gear that you purchased. Now me, I'm a big fan of the Stanley Cook kit here, right? It nests right here into our coffee mug here. Inside our Stanley Cook kit, we have our little green cups. And guess what? Right there on the inside, there's a line. That's for 8 ounces. So I have already prepared, poured enough water in there up to that line. And to show you how much it is, exactly 1 cup. All right, so when it comes to your cooking equipment, you got to know what you're cooking and your items, right? So as much as I love this Stanley Cook kit, look at the bottom here. It's not flat, and that's not a good thing when you're cooking dairy. So I'm actually going to cook it here in my coffee mug. So let's start by going ahead and putting in all of our powder into this container. All right, there we go. And if you're going to have banana pudding, you need to put some bananas in it. So let's pour some of that in there. So here's what I'm thinking. I want to give those bananas a chance to reconstitute. So I'm going to go ahead and take my cold water and just pour it in here. And I'm only going to do about 6 ounces or so. I'm going to save about 1/4 cup in case I need to add a bit more. Maybe a bit more. There we go. And I want to take my field spatula and I'm just going to kind of stir things up and let it soak for a little bit. And then I'm going to apply some heat. All right, so it's test time here. We're going to go ahead and do a quick cook here. And you notice I'm using my regular cookware that I use on backpacking and hiking. I got my Firebox Stove and I got my coffee mug here. So whatever you're doing when you're rehearsing, you're training, you're going to end up doing the exact same thing when you get into the heat of things, right? So whatever I do here, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing out on the trail. So it's very familiar. Get that muscle memory. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing lit up and let's see how it cooks up. Let's turn that down. All right, so you might notice I've got the burner really low here, like far away from the actual cup, and I've also got the heat set at very low. That's because dairy tends to burn, and so you have to stir this constantly. Yeah, there we go. We're getting close to a boil. It's turning into actual pudding now. All right, I'll just give this another few seconds to a minute, and then we'll do a taste test. All right, taste test time here. Let's see how this turned out. So we've got our pudding. I went ahead and broke it up 2 servings, 1 for me, 1 for my wife. All right, you can see it's nice and thick here. And since banana pudding is always served with vanilla wafers, I figure I want to pair it with these graham crackers, and we're going to eat nacho style. So let's go ahead and dip it up. Let's see how we got here. Outstanding. All right, next time you see me eating this, I'll be out in the woods. Now, in case you guys wanted to know how this all turned out, hi, family. Welcome back to the Missionary Johnny channel. Hey, if you're new to my channel is about moving on the field. Typically, that means time, ideas, today's video is all about it. Let's go ahead and now that I got the membrane off, let's go ahead and cut this little flap off right here. I'll save this for later. packages.